All right, Mandalorian breakdown, episode number 4, overall episode 12, but season 2, episode 4. Jeff Lowe, KenJac, Robbie Fox here to talk about the episode, break it down. A lot of Easter eggs.
Yep.
Fairly potential big tease. We're not sure.
Not yet.
At the end. But a very action-packed scene, directed by one Carl Weathers.
Yep. Shout out Carl Weathers.
Self-directed, was in it.
You got
obviously.
a stew, baby.
Yeah, he's got a stew cooking. Notably for Arrested Development. Some say Rocky, but I'll go with Arrested Development. But Carl Weathers, a fantastic action episode.
Yep.
If you wanted some fun, if you wanted some chase scenes, guess what? You got it again.
Yeah.
A lot of bikes, a lot of speeder bikes, a lot of speeders in general, some TIE fighters. It was just again, say it every week. This show's just fucking fun. The show just knows how to have fun. The day it gets too serious, the day it gets a little too much overboard with like exposition and goes too deep into old Star Wars shit, then maybe it won't be fun anymore. If they keep going like this, they can make them forever.
This was a brilliant episode. Has Carl Weathers directed before? Do either of you know that?
Not directed. I don't know.
Because I thought he did a good job, and I felt like he had like really good comedic timing. I thought this episode was super funny throughout.
Very
like
funny.
You said,
Yeah,
great
agreed.
action sequences at the end, cool CGI on the speeder bike stuff. Me and Jeff both, I mean KenJac too, we love Scout Troopers, but like I'm a Scout Trooper nut, love the speeder bike chase and
Good references to the old speeder bikes too.
Yeah, the entire like ending speeder bike scene was awesome, and I thought they did a really good job of making the Grief Karga and Cara Dune mission not feel procedural, and it did feel like something that he had to do, and they linked it into like last season's story. They brought in Moff Gideon. This was kind of an episode like we were asking for last season when we said we just want a little more interwoven storyline between the episode. They only really did it in the last few minutes, but it was all we needed.
Right, that was kind of the big critique last year. It's like even if you're enjoying it, you're like, all right, like let's put the story in a look. Because again, I love these one-off adventure stories. That's what makes this show so fun and light and not like everything else that you can watch these days.
And I think that's what helps them expand the galaxy as much as they have to.
Right, but they've definitely put a little more in there just to pepper in the story a bit.
I think the inclusion of stuff like the lab and the ending with Moff Gideon was good, because otherwise I would have thought that this was, I wouldn't say procedural, but I don't want to see them kill any more Imperials without any stakes and just murdering them without you're ever in doubt that they're going to win, because that's what happened in this episode. And that, to me, a little bit boring, but the action is so cool, and the little sprinkled in things, again, like the lab and the ending with Moff Gideon, makes it a little bit better than it might have otherwise been.
And they brought you back in the doctor role.
They did. They brought me back. I came back in with my giant-ass John Lennon glasses.
It's funny because like this type of action, like what is the critique of prequel and stuff? It's all talking, right? It's all talking, and like this is one of those ones where it's a complete counter. Ironically, because they do bring in something very big from the prequels that we haven't heard since the prequels. Well, we have, just not in the movies, really. We'll get to it.
Yep.
But this is like the exact opposite of that. It was some talking, but a lot of action, a lot of chase scenes that looked fucking outstanding. Anytime they take to the skies in Mandalorian, it looks unbelievable. And again, if there's one takeaway from this season that is more obvious than anything else, it's the budget was raised.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But they're smart
raised.
about the way they do certain things. Like when Mando took off initially, like to the thing, we'll get into the plot and all that, but there were 2 shots of him taking off, and it was so like briefly cut. I was like, oh, they probably didn't have to do a ton of CGI at all on that.
Not.
Like they're just so smart in the way they shoot the show.
With the Scout Troopers too, you see the CGI when they go down doing the mountain biking shit down the mountain, but then when their scenes are at the close up and you can get away with it, they go back to practical, and it looks and feels
really
more real.
Cool. And this is also one of the most memeable Mandalorian episodes.
Oh yeah,
ever.
We're gonna talk about that soon.
There's gonna be so many memes from so many different scenes.
Me and Robbie had the same exact parallel thought about one scene. That's hilarious.
Big Baby Yoda.
Oh yes.
Episode 2. Very Baby Groot like, and we'll start out with that.
Lover.
Yeah. The beginning was very much like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I thought the same thing.
Yes.
You're a fan of Marvel. Baby Groot trying to help fix the ship, crosses the wires, kind of electrocutes himself, trying to help Mando fix it.
Kind of like Han and Chewie too. Whenever there's like 3 or 4 scenes where they try to fix the Falcon, and that happens.
It's not working well. The Razor Crest, we know that from the last episode. It was broken down, not repaired in full. And then they share some tea, maybe some beer. I don't know. They share some. Though it's interesting to see
Baby
Mando.
Yoda's 50. He's of age.
Yeah, it's true. Mando raised his helmet to drink. He still just won't take. But that's almost like I took it as a bit of a hint, because I still think it is going to come off at some point. I think he's just going to adapt to taking the helmet off. But again, even with just Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda's gonna be like, dude, take the fucking helmet off.
Here's a question, and this could maybe be for later, but do you think he's going to adapt to take the helmet off, or do you think it's going to come down to, like, he has to choose? It's going to be, like, his covert versus, like, Katie Sackhoff and her Bo-Katan.
I think with the Mandalorians they're going to be the ones that get him to take it off.
Bo-Katan is going to be lined up with Ahsoka, and he's going to be with Baby Yoda. So, like, them being aligned versus the covert is what it's going to come down to, I think, and then it's going to be him taking off his helmet for that case.
So yeah, they eat some food, they drink some stuff, and then it cuts. They said we're going to Nevarro. That's the planet we spent a lot of time on in the first season. That's where Mando was when we first met him. That's where he brought Baby Yoda to get tested and all that stuff. That was the final episode last season. So that's where Greef Karga, Carl Weathers, and Cara Dune, they are Gina Carano. That's where they are as this season begins. We haven't seen them yet. We are about to see them though, and actually we do see Cara Dune pretty quickly. We'll get into the species, what they are, but we see a couple species ransacking the Armorer, the Mandalorians' hideout before they all abandon it, or some of them died. The Armorer's hideout there, and it's clear that Cara Dune is now a marshal. She is now kind of running the town, and she just kills them all.
Yeah, she's been living there, I think, because she's got the pet there in the cage, right, and they try to eat it. I liked the practical little ferret or whatever that was.
There is the
very puppety ferret.
Endor things. There are Endor ferrets. I don't think that's that, but like that did remind me of that.
Nevarro ferret.
Let's get a rating on the UFC action.
You know, it was pretty cool, and she when she did like the
grapple thing,
and then used the dead body to get shot. That's like a thing Ronda Rousey did in the WWE to set up her finisher. So I was like, cool. It's like a Ronda Rousey Gina Carano thing. That was always the dream match that never happened. So it's actually pretty cool. There's some real stuff used.
Razor Crest arrives in Nevarro. Mando's back with Greef Karga, Cara Dune. We get a little tease. They give a little look back because he's got to get his ship fixed, and one of the ship technicians kind of gives a look backwards at Mando, and you kind of hint to you, like, all right, something's up with this fucking guy.
There's always those species, like the long dick species from the originals. Like, there's always those.
In The Force Awakens, the thing that pops up out of the sand and just like, looks at BB-8 at the beginning.
There's always those.
They know how to work in just a little, like, something's going on over here.
Yeah, Greef Karga says about the Empire, he's talking about the Outer Rim planets. He's like, look, the Empire couldn't settle the Outer Rim planets. I don't know why the New Republic is trying to. Like, it's useless. Just let it kind of be what it is. They leave Baby Yoda at a school. They drop him off. There's a protocol droid teaching, talking about a map. There's a lot of Easter eggs in the map.
There's like 1,000.
Get into all of them.
Just direct references.
I didn't even look at it.
The Kessel Run, they did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But so the protocol droids there, they drop Baby Yoda off. Like, we got to talk business. Mando's a little apprehensive. Like, I don't want to leave him, but they leave him there. He asks for what looks like a macaroon, not a macaroon.
It looked like one.
Macaroon's the coconut. No, macaroon's the coconut. Macaroon is the one that looks like a sandwich.
Oh, I thought you were saying it didn't look like a macaroon.
Two different things.
I didn't know that at all.
Things. Yeah. The most common one is a little sandwich one.
Yeah.
Which you talked to me this morning, you said looks like a pretty patty. SpongeBob.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
I've never had one. I'd like to have one.
They're so good.
It was too early this morning. We filmed these pretty early. I wanted to buy. I was like, I don't have time.
Blue milk one, maybe.
I know.
Who knows?
They got to make those cookies. They look delicious.
I assume they're going to be sold.
They looked delicious.
Disneyland
If you just make them taste like Scooby snacks, you know those graham cracker type things.
Yeah, and then Yoda steals it. Use the first ever event of using the Force for petty theft.
I was worried for a second that he was going to make a scene in the class.
I think he was going to beat him up.
I know. I was I thought maybe he was going to get bullied, and then he was going to use the Force in like some Superman type.
He alphaed that girl too. She didn't even ask for them back. She was just like, I don't give a shit.
Let me just ask Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Look at my arms. I can play a protocol droid. I can fit into that suit. There are very few people that can fit into that suit. I would love to do it. I don't want the shine. I just want to be in the suit. Hello, Baby Yoda. I'll teach you about the Kessel Run.
Replace Anthony Daniels with him, please.
Yeah,
God.
It's time to hang up the gold-plated shin guard.
It would be great if I could tell people like I'm got to keep the arms small for a role.
Baby Yoda steals the macarons, which I like. Which, if I'm still pronouncing them wrong, I just know one has two O's, one has one. This
They're
is
French.
We're gonna have to get them eventually. We'll do like a video, a taste test.
This is the Instagram version.
Yes, exactly.
Instagram. Then they go back to Greef Karga's like little headquarters, his area. He kind of runs the town. We see the Horatio Sands Mithril, which we still don't know his name.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even in the subtitles.
Just the Mithril.
Which is it is so hard to not know a name in Star Wars. There's a name for everybody, but no, it's just Horatio.
Sasha Banks got a name last week. Yeah,
it's Horatio Sands Mithril, which I love. When he sees Mando, he feels like a carbon.
Vents.
Yeah, like he's like a carbon freeze.
Yeah,
like
made me laugh.
Like After Effect, he can't see out of one eye still. There is some good comedic timing with his character in this episode. He's working off his debt. Grief Karga allowed him
An indentured servant, basically.
He owed him money. Grief and Cara Dune want Mando to help them out. They want to dismantle an old Imperial base on the other side of the planet, which time in Star Wars is always very rough.
Yeah.
I assume it's a small planet.
Gotta be so small.
They get back and there and back real quick. Not a problem though, but that's just Star Wars. So they say they're going to go do it. Mando agrees. They say, look, the ship's going to take a little bit today. Let's just go dismantle this. We can finally get the Imperials off this planet. We can keep Nevarro as more of like a neutral territory. We can trade. Things will get better here if we remove them. So they go there on a speeder. They go there on the Mythrol speeder. Mando jets up top, kills a stormtrooper. Stormtrooper falls down, and then the Mythrol, Cara Dune, and Grief Karga, they go up an elevator shaft. They go to the top, and it seems fairly empty. Yep. They see a ship that looks like a troop transport. It's actually not. It's a new ship. It's similar to a troop transport.
This is the battle version.
Yeah. We'll get to the name when we get to the part of the episode where they actually go into it. Again, this episode we're out of stuff in the trailers now. This was like
that. The jetpack scene was definitely the last one I was waiting for.
I remember that.
This is a lot of stuff from the trailer, so we're kind of out.
There really isn't a lot,
which is funny
there?
Because last season it was the first 4 or 5 episodes that we got everything from the trailers, and then everything else there on out was mostly, if not all, new.
Yeah.
Makes me excited that more characters going to be involved with him that are like spoilery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Thanksgiving week is where it kind of turned, and that's where everything we had not seen really anything whatsoever.
The Filoni cometh soon.
They have to go drain the coolant lines because they're going to blow it up. Kind of gave me some vibes of Mustafar, Revenge of the Sith, when the coolant
shield,
lines went down. Yeah, things started to blow up. They just want to blow the base up, so the Mythrol does that. Some cool Easter eggs there we'll get to. They're going to blow up the base, and then they start leaving. They feel it's starting to shake. The reactor's going to blow. They fight some stormtroopers. Fairly easy stormtrooper kills, like you were mentioning.
It's the easiest kills of all time. No one stood a chance.
They're the absolute
Those guys
worst.
are probably inactive for a while too. They're rusty,
But they do get to an interesting portion of the base. They see there's a bit of a lab, and there's the clone technicians. They have the logo of
Camino. The Camino, yeah.
The Camino and clone technician icons, and they're yelling. They're like, "Purge the documents, get them out of here!" So they're shooting the computers before they know they're about to die at the hand of Mando and them. And so Mando, Cara Dune, the Mythrol, and Grief Karga kill him, and then they kind of look around and like, what the fuck is happening here? And there's these big tubes or pools.
They're like tanks just filled.
Almost like the back
creatures.
Species, creatures. They're sitting there, and we, as the viewer, you assume like, okay, they're trying to make clones. They're doing something, and the Mythrol hacks the system and pulls up a message from Dr. Pershing. That's the doctor, looks like you. We saw from last season who worked on Baby Yoda.
That's right.
It's a message from Dr. Pershing to Moff Gideon. Their names are so similar to me. I don't know why. I think it's the G.
The syntax thing,
Yeah, the G gets me. The clone doctor is talking to Moff Gideon about Baby Yoda, saying, look, we're out of his blood. I couldn't extract that much blood from him. I would have killed him. He's too small. We tested on all these hosts, and they basically failed.
They're using like a blood bag.
They're using
M count was the reference there.
Yeah, I was saying. So that's the next thing. This is the big thing. He mentions M count. M count is midichlorian count. Midichlorians, probably the most controversial thing George Lucas did. There's different ways to look at it. Some people view them as midichlorians. They kind of latch on to your force power, so they reveal what the force is as opposed to having the force. Some people try to describe them that way. It's very controversial topic.
I don't like to think about it.
The prequels mention midichlorians basically as the force, where they've ignored them in the sequels, and people have tried to explain them away as more to like they kind of gravitate to the force in your body, and that's how they reveal if you have the force. So it's like a weird.
Even though you can see it in your blood for whatever reason.
It's a part of Star Wars. They reference it. They reference that Baby Yoda has a lot of midichlorian, which makes sense, obviously, because we know Yoda. Yoda is the most, if not the most, outside of Anakin and a couple other species as well. So he mentions the M count in the video, says, I won't fail you again, Moff Gideon. They learn that after that's over, Moff Gideon's alive. They didn't know that. Yeah. They were like, well, that has to be old.
He exploded. Yeah, I didn't think he was dead. Like, what's his name? Vince McMahon. When the limo blew up, they just assumed he exploded. He was done.
I can't use the clip. They'll take the video down. But I wish
exactly.
WWE.
I wish I could. Yeah. So they end up freaking out. Like, oh, shit, he's still alive. Like, this was a 3-day-old message. So Mando gets the fuck out of there. He jetpacks up. Shit. Again, invincible with the Beskar. You cannot shoot Mando.
Yep.
That's why everyone wants the armor.
Yeah, it makes sense why they're throwing them into sea monsters and.
Why not make the plane out of the Beskar armor?
Should.
Many have asked.
I mean, it would take a lot
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have much of it. So he's out of there, and then Cara Dune, Grief, and the Mithril, they leave on out of there. They're trying to find a way to get off the hangar bay. The speeder's down on the bottom of the surface of the planet. They're all the way up
in the
top.
canyon, very much pod racer vibes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they see a Trexler Marauder, and that's looks like a troop transport. It's not a troop transport. Troop transport, very famous Star Wars toy that we talked about last season. They finally did it in live action.
What's
They
it
saw
called?
in Rebels.
It's a Marauder.
It's a Marauder, Trexler Marauder.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never even heard of that.
I looked it up. I was like, oh, troop transport can go that fast?
Yeah.
And it's not a troop transport. It's just like it's a battle version.
It's more, it's all like geared up with more cannons and shit like that. So
Mando, again, he had great fighting, gun combat with all the Beskar armor. He's out of there. They're now in this ship, and they drive it off the cliff all the way down. It lands on the Mithril speeder.
as a cushion.
Yep, and then they are followed by Scout Troopers. Now, we talked about I love Scout Troopers. My first Star Wars toy that was a vehicle was the from Return of the Jedi, the Scout Trooper, the Kenner toy. You hit the back of it, it blew up.
Oh, yeah.
Launched the Scout Trooper off. Awesome. And they're still fucking idiots. They're so stupid.
Still really bad at driving.
They're lack
Yeah,
of
I mean, the
spatial
first one
awareness.
that dies just like dies.
There's two of them.
Nothing
They
happens
just
to
ran
it.
into
They
fucking
made it
rocks.
yeah.
5 seconds. They make it halfway down. They're still the worst fucking pilots. So they fly down. They chase the speeder. Awesome chase scene. Just an
lot of
awesome
fun.
fucking chase scene. You have Cara Dune driving. You have the Mithril kind of on the side, helping her out, and then in the back, Grief Karga's got the gun on the top of
It's like the Matrix cannons almost.
And just the old school like locked on target like computer and sound effect throwback to A New Hope. It is just such an awesome chase scene. Any speeder bike chase scene is cool.
Yeah, of
you
course.
just
The sound, the woo.
swoop
It's the
bikes and
best
speeder
sound.
bikes are the coolest fucking vehicles.
I mean, it's the Star Wars equivalent of a motorcycle, and what's cooler than a
It is.
motorcycle?
They defeat the scouts.
Yep.
They drive into him into the cliff. They shoot him down.
The Indiana Jones them, the one guy. That was sick.
Yeah, and then
And it was cool to see like the one scout trooper actually get an advantage on him for a second.
Yeah.
Felt like
Yeah.
something a hero
Yeah,
would
one
do,
jumps on
you know,
top.
and then
Yeah.
it locks onto him like throwing the grenade. That was a cool sight.
Yeah.
And he had the laugh. He did like almost like a Han Solo. We
Yeah.
laugh after he blew him. It's like,
it's the little mix in there because like we've seen the speeder chases. They all die chase to chase. Like we've never seen
Yeah.
one jump on something.
Yeah.
A scout trooper die that way. Yeah, it was
like the
pretty
world's
awesome.
worst biker gang.
So they defeat them, and then the Outland TIE Fighters. Those are the TIE Fighters that the wings closed. We saw Moff Gideon. They debuted them in The Mandalorian, the season, or the second to last episode last season, right before the cliffhanger. They fly off the base. The base blows up. The Mithril's all fired up. He's like, we did it. We won. But here come the TIE Fighters. They're able to take one out with the gunship.
Yep.
Then the gun is basically destroyed. They're not able to shoot it anymore. They're being chased down. They're almost to town, so again, very short trip.
Yeah.
It's a very, very
Yeah.
short trip. The TIEs are coming after them, and then out of nowhere, they fly past them. You think they're going to turn around and shoot the Marauder. Bang, here comes Mando. Mando's back in the fixed Razor Crest. Very, very quick job. I hope he tipped well.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
Great fixed job. Great repair. Mando has an aerial dogfight with the remaining 2 TIE fighters. He blew one up. There's 2 more to go. Awesome through the fucking clouds. He does a move where he flies all the way up, turns
Does
off
the stall out.
thrusters. Yeah, the stall out, drops down. It is such a cool dogfight. And then there's this one shot where they're coming at each
Yeah.
other from afar.
And they do the
we
circle.
haven't seen anything like that in Star Wars yet.
They do the
It
circle
is-
thing like almost like Anakin
Yeah.
and Phantom Menace.
I thought
Yeah,
the same thing.
Yep.
It is so fucking cool. It is badass Star Wars space battle, but sky battle stuff.
I can't
That-
imagine a worse fucking thing to try and fight with than the Razor Crest. It looks like flying a tank. It's just way too big.
So weird. This is just the badass slop we want with Star Wars.
Yeah, I thought about like my nephew watching this. He's like 5, 6 years old. Imagine being that age and watching this scene. Like, oh my god, this is everything I've ever wanted out of Star Wars.
Like we've got some cool space battle. Like some of the space stuff in the prequels is very cool. Especially like I know the scene that everyone loves, Revenge of the Sith, is
The opening is so cool. Yeah.
But this one just. It looks so much more practical. It is just so cool.
Looks way better,
Even
yeah.
seeing, like that was, I feel like, the most personal we've gotten with a TIE fighter inside the cockpit too. Like we got a bunch of shots of them and they're blowing up.
They got the point of view shot of like that you only really see in video
Yeah.
games from like
Yeah.
the what do you call it, the cupola
Outside window, yeah.
that they have now in the International Space Station actually,
Man,
which is kind of cool.
It was just an awesome. It's again, you just can't help but smile when you watch scenes like that because you're like, this is we're getting this week to week now. Like if you would have given me that in Star Wars 8 years ago. Like a Star Wars thing with that in one movie, I'd be like, that's great. We're getting this week to week now, and it's just fucking fun. I just like that whole space thing was great. Or sky. I keep saying space. It was a sky battle. They did not enter enter space at all during that battle. So Mando doesn't even land. Doesn't even the fucking courtey to talk to his.
He doesn't dust off.
Okay, I'm gone. I'm sorry. He's like, I got to go bring the child.
The equivalent of like shooting a 3 and leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Carson Teva, the X-wing pilot, the
Mr. Kim from Kim's Convenience.
Yeah, the Republic trooper. He's basically a cop.
Yeah.
Boring ass job.
He's like an outer rim cop. He's like the world's like most uncool sheriff.
Yeah, he's talking to Grief Karga about like, Razor Crest this, Razor Crest that. And Grief Karga covers for him. He's like, I don't give a shit. He goes, this isn't Coruscant. Like, go do your own thing.
Yeah.
But then the Republic pilot also talks to Cardoon. He's like, look, this I know we're coming
it's
up
so funny.
The least self-aware comment in the history of Star Wars.
It's the funniest line in all of Star Wars.
The one note thing he says the core worlds don't believe what's going on out here. Like the Coruscants, they don't believe that there's all these Imperial events. Like, that they're coming back. Mm-hmm. It's just the Harry Potter, he's back.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, yeah.
It's fudge. They don't believe they're back. It says like it would help if these local planets, like people and like local systems, can help patrol the Empire.
He almost does like a mayoral pitch to him. He's like, we need people like you.
Yeah.
And he leaves her a badge. Like, come on, be like wow.
Yeah, I said
how did he describe
it? Was like a coaster. It was like a PR coaster.
But before he fucking said that, I mean,
sheriff badge, a pilot giving his wings.
He's like, I heard you're from Alderaan. Did you lose anybody?
Yeah.
Did you lose anybody?
You gotta think the whole planet exploded. She probably lost someone.
And Cara Dune, maybe like 2 other people?
Did you lose anybody? Like, how could she not lose?
Your whole planet was vaporized. It's hard to escape that. You can't run away from that.
She's from there.
Yeah, she's not a very, like, forgiving person.
Everybody I ever knew was on vacation from the planet.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be like, you fucking think I lost somebody? And then he gives her the fucking coaster.
Which,
it's like...
I said it was like giving him like a sheriff's badge, like a cop giving a kid a sheriff's badge, and you said it was what, a pilot giving...
It's like a pilot giving a kid wings.
Yeah, the wings.
Yeah. Like, thanks, I don't want this.
Sorry,
I just told you I'm not
sorry, everyone you knew and loved is vaporized. Here's a little badge.
You know when someone is socially awkward and you have one thing in common with them, so every time you see them, they bring that up?
Yeah.
That's that guy with Alderaan. Yeah. He's like, from Alderaan? I served in Alderaan. You lose anybody? Everyone's got to be like, yeah.
You served there.
Everybody.
Yeah, what did that mean, too?
Just say, I'm sorry for the loss.
Yeah.
Alderaan.
Yeah, exactly.
The planet blew up.
I saw you're from Alderaan. I'm sorry.
Thoughts and prayers for Alderaan. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Fucking idiot. So... No real close. We have not like main closure. We're gonna see Cardoon. We're gonna see Grief Karga again at some point.
Yep.
So Baby Yoda and Mando, they fly off. But the next thing we see an Imperial cruiser. We'll get to the type of ship that is in a minute.
It's cool looking.
And there's an Imperial officer, and she's talking to, there you go, that alien from the beginning of the episode.
Little rat alien.
Yeah, that rat alien put a tracking beacon on the Razor Crest when he or she fixed it. And she makes a very interesting comment, says you'll be compensated well in the new era. Very much talking about the First Order and the creation of what they're trying to make there. And then there we go. We see the first shot of live action Moff Gideon. Well, not live action, in person. We see him as a hologram. And she says, we're tracking the Razor Crest. Like
that made me say, "Oh fuck!" out loud.
Yeah.
So we know that they're gonna meet very soon.
And he says, "Does he still have the asset? Like he's still got Baby Yoda."
He's gotta go for Baby Yoda. He got the message,
and now they're going to Ahsoka. Oh my God!
Not distressed at all.
Too much stress.
He wasn't
too much stress.
He wasn't distressed at all that entire facility got blown to fuck.
No, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. He got Baby Yoda.
They were all dead.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, "Long live the Empire." He's trying to get people to kamikaze ships. He doesn't give a fuck about his own troops.
And Easter eggs. We'll talk about the first thing. We'll talk about the first thing we'll talk about is the last thing we see.
Yeah.
We are not for sure on this yet. By the time this video comes out, we may be. We are teased very heavily because they pan away and we see this big long line of what looks like suits. Think they're Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
Which is a very big Star Wars reveal if you've been following Star Wars content for years. This is like a 90s, 2000s thing. This is Dark Troopers. So, Dark Troopers are not a thing we've seen in new Star Wars, but Dark Troopers are things we've seen in the past. The Dark Forces video game, and there's a little bit of backstory to them. There's a couple lines of Dark Troopers. There's different versions.
Yeah.
We've actually seen versions in
Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2. Do you know the one trooper with the arc gun?
Yes.
The Empire trooper?
Yeah.
So that's a Dark
the
Trooper.
Zero version.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the Zero version.
Okay.
Basically, here's what happened in there, and there's Star Wars
Yeah,
explained.
because I don't know much about these guys either.
Guy we know on the internet, Alex Damon, he did a very quick 1:30 video. You can go watch it, but we'll kind of summarize it. Basically, they wanted cybernetically enhanced clone troopers and stormtroopers. It's a very dark story. They enhanced these stormtroopers, and then it fucked them up so much they killed themselves.
Yeah.
So then they moved to droids. And then they moved to another version of droids. And then the last version, which I'm showing on screen right here, this is a fucking toy. I have this toy. It's one of my favorite toys growing up as a kid because I was like, what is this? Like, this isn't in Star Wars. This is fucking cool because like I didn't really get like what the expanded universe was.
Yeah.
I was too young. You could also be in them. It's an exoskeleton and robot hybrid. There was only one of them that happened, and then the program got shut down. Kyle Katarn defeated them. That was the Dark Forces video game.
It looks almost like, for those of you that play Fallout, the power armor from any of the Fallout games, from Brotherhood Steel style, it looks exactly
Someone
like that.
described them saying very Master Chief-esque, like in terms of how they work.
Yes.
So that's what people think they are. Because Dave Filoni is the biggest Star Wars nerd in the world. He loves bringing in things from the expanded universe, whether it be a fucking ice cream maker and turning it into like a bank for Beskar.
We'll call it canonizing. Even though that's not the right use of the term, it's called canonizing.
He does. He likes to make things canon that exist in Star Wars. Dark Troopers would be a very, very big one. People are freaking out, but it's a very deep cut reference. If you don't get it, it's not going to like ruin your ability to understand them. But if they bring them in, they're super powered. I guess stormtroopers in a sense, but they're robots, they're hybrids. I don't know if these are going to be hybrids. I don't know if they're
cyborgs.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Are they going to be force sensitive? Like they're trying to pull out like something with the force and Baby Yoda. So there's a lot of question marks.
What I thought there was that Moff Gideon was trying to become force sensitive, and that's why they're pulling the blood out of Baby Yoda. And then someone died, pulling the blood out of whatever. And then I got the vibe that they were trying to create clones, and he was trying to become force sensitive.
Yeah.
So the clone thing is interesting too, because I got the super soldier vibe, but now what you're telling me about the Dark Trooper and all that, maybe at the end of this season, Moff Gideon will go full Obadiah Stane and like
maybe
become Cyborg himself.
Maybe he will call Jeff Bridges it up.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't even want to speculate on it much further, but a lot of people assume they're Dark Troopers. We're going to find out, I'm sure, by the end of the weekend. I'm sure there'll be some sort of confirmation. But that could be Dark Troopers now in canon. Again, there's a couple explainers on the internet. There's a short one from Star Wars Explained that will really run through what we just said, but a little more expanded. And then there's some more that go kind of deep cut, but worth a dive.
Yeah.
We don't know. You don't have to know. But if you recognize the Star Wars Dark Forces video game, you probably went, oh, shit. And I have the toy at home. I was fired up. Because this is, again, I didn't know what it was. I was like, what is this? They just make up toys? They make up characters? So this could be a big deal. Throwback, another Easter egg to Obi-Wan and A New Hope. When the Mythrol was taking the reactor down, the whole the bars look exactly like the tractor beam levels from when Obi-Wan was walking around that thing.
Turning off the shields.
Walks of all time.
Did you catch? Is there a little shout out to the Blue Harvest?
Yeah, there is.
The next reference, there's definitely an Easter egg to Blue Harvest, a Family Guy, where the Mythrol notes there's no guardrails. He goes, there's never guardrails. In the
awesome.
Empire.
That's never been referenced in any official Star Wars stuff, so that's nice to see.
I hope our friend Alex Sulkin, friend of the program, is happy about that.
You're just going to lean. We got to ask you. We got to see.
We got to, when he watches the episode,
he's going to freak out.
He's got to have like 100 tweets this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure. We got to look at that after.
Yeah.
We got to look at his mentions. Did you catch this one in the middle of town? There's an IG-11 statue.
Oh,
no, I didn't see that at all.
Honoring IG-11. He's
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Talk about good statues. We're talking about statues getting canceled, pulled down.
That's a good statue.
IG-11 statue in New York City.
It's a good statue.
Really fucking cool. That was a neat one to catch in the background. Code cylinders. This is
yeah.
So you know those things on the sleeves, like they look like pens.
Little cylinders. They're like in their kind of like bent into their shirts or whatever. Yeah.
Grief Karga had one. They're very important, obviously. They can access doors.
You know, when I saw that, he picks one up and he goes like, "This will be of great use" or something, and I was like, "I'm screenshotting that, and that's going to be a 3-chi ad." It's like a 3-chi pen.
Very memeable episode.
Promo code Robbie.
Feel free to sponsor. Feel free to sponsor the Mendo Break.
Yes.
Sponsor the Mendo.
Yes.
We can say those are it's just 3-chi.
Those are tinctures.
It looks like 3-chis. Yoda had like the smoke blowout early on in the episode. We could say that he was smoking in there.
Species, the Aqualish or Aqualish, I don't know how to say it exactly. That's Ponda Boba. That's the guy who loses an arm in A New Hope.
The Cousin Scott species.
Cousin Scott. Another
my cousin
Family
Scott.
Guy reference. Yeah. That was cool to see like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
If you threw me up a lineup of species, I'd be like, that's going to be in there because of Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
That's going to be in there. This would have been one of them. Mimbanese, that's the snitch character.
Yeah.
We saw them in
You threw an accent on that. That was nice. Yeah. Mimbanese.
Solo Star Wars Stories, where we first saw them. I thought it looked like that species from Rise of Skywalker, the Ochi.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it's the same one.
I don't think so.
And then we saw Protocol Droid, obviously not species, but very C-3PO-esque.
Again.
obviously. Little nod. Yeah.
Tiny arms.
Yep. Ships, the 74-Z speeder bike. That's the speeder bikes they were driving on Nevarro. They were chasing down our heroes. X-Wing, class. The more practical we get with the X-Wings, the better look. It's unbelievable. They look so cool.
They're awesome.
They look great in Mandalorian. The Outland TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
We saw that from Moff Gideon.
Still very cool.
Very cool TIE
Was that
fighters.
the one that was designed for Colin Trevorrow's Rise of Skywalker? Or was that just the one they put
I don't
on Galaxy's
remember.
Edge? I know that there's a TIE fighter in Galaxy's Edge.
With bending wings?
And that was the one that
Yes,
they
that
designed
was
for
Mando,
that.
I
But I don't know
believe,
if it's the same one.
The Architans class command cruiser. That's the cruiser we see at the end.
The 3-engine one.
Though it was noted on Wikipedia. Wikipedia, great place for rabbit hole digging.
The best.
The best. But there was a note that it's an unspecified version, meaning that it's probably like a enhanced by Moff Gideon. He has a lot of pull.
It's like a flagship one,
He's
basically.
like Pimp My Ride. He's like,
And it's also
let's go.
like, nobody else is in command. He might be like running his own empire at this point.
It's also possibly like partially a medical class cruiser because it has the lab stuff in it.
Oh, yeah, true.
Questions and theories. This is from the Star Wars Reddit user Sebastian Willow says, "Are we in Snoke territory?" I don't want to go.
That's
too
the
much,
thought process.
I don't want to go too much into sequel talk, but we saw in Rise of Skywalker, kind of unexplained. There's just Snoke clones. This is a fairly large hint as to what is to happen, and I imagine we get, if not this season, next season, explained a little bit into Snoke and the creation of Snoke.
I mean, I paused on the lab.
It had the
I
same
went back
dent on
'cause
his
I was
head.
like, that looks like Snoke. I thought it was at first. I was like, is that fucking Snoke? That would be crazy.
The creature
I
had the
think we're there
same.
yet, but-
It had the same dent. It had the same look
Yeah,
about him.
I don't want to
an unfinished Snoke.
Look back at season 1. All of the seeds that they planted, they really watched grow. Like, kind of feels like the same thing for this.
Yeah.
AKR Mahal Kimi user, sorry.
Wow,
From
that's-
Star Wars Reddit.
yeah, that's tough
no
to
shot.
pronounce. Mahal Kimi?
Kind of piggybacked on that, saying the Emperor trying to find host bodies. Clearly, that's what's going on with the clone stuff. You would have to think.
Yeah.
You know, the Emperor's still around.
I would love to see the Emperor come back in a Battlefront 2 type way, where he's got the hologram.
Oh, the hologram
on
face
a
thing
face.
for what was that Operation? Something
Operation- it was
Cinder
like for-
or something
yeah,
like that.
for his
Yeah.
contingency plan.
Yeah.
I would love for him to have a scene opposite Giancarlo Esposito,
Yeah.
Moff Gideon. That would be cool.
And finally, @RipWeir says on Twitter, "What does Mando use to get the puke stains on a Baby Yoda?"
That's like his only shirt. He doesn't have any
Yeah,
other
true.
clothing.
He has one shirt.
Yeah. Do you think anyone that has this is
That's
trying to make it
insane.
more screen accurate right now, like throwing some paint on it?
Gonna have to make a pit stop and get some. What do you call it? Soda water.
We got to freeze dry macaroon and put that in his dinner.
Yeah, right.
That's it. Action-packed, fucking awesome blast of an episode. They just give us good Star Wars adventures.
We're halfway through, right? This is halfway point. 8
Yes.
episodes this season.
Yep.
It's been a great half of the
Keep
season.
it up. It's fun.
Yeah.
And we have nothing but new stuff
It's
left.
fun Star Wars adventures. That's all we want. I do want to know in January we will start these for WandaVision.
Yes.
Definitely.
Heads
Yes.
up. Yes. But this is all I want from this fucking. I love it. It's just a fun fucking show. I have such a good time with it. And next week though is going to be big. We'll just say that here. Predictions for next week because we will meet Ahsoka Tano.
Yep.
I lay it down. Like just all chips on the
Give it
table.
to me.
Filoni,
I'll bet
Ahsoka,
my salary,
everything.
My 401k, you know what? Everything because you mentioned it to me last week and KenJac. Dave Filoni's directing the next episode. His first ever directing for live action. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
No, he did one last season as well.
Which one did he? Oh,
He
right.
did Toro Calican episode.
Oh, right.
Which is good, beside with the exception of
Yeah,
just
with- yeah.
I'm
Cannavale.
dead
Yeah.
wrong on that, but what I'm right on is that there's no fucking way they don't let Dave Filoni introduce
Yeah.
his character Ahsoka Tano in live action. That's a, I mean, I don't want to say monumental is no, I'm your father, but this is a fairly.
If you're
this
for
is a big
hardcore
deal.
Star Wars fans, it is monumental.
Hardcore Star Wars fans, but it's also this will officially mainstream even more so Ahsoka Tano.
This is the
Definitely.
biggest introduction of an animated character into the Star Wars universe.
for
Like
sure.
we acted crazy about Bo-Katan. Like this is
Yeah,
Bo-Katan on
this is a
cocaine.
Major. Again, Clone
Yeah.
Wars and Rebels. Watch our breakdowns if you want. I can only link it once per episode, so I'll do it now. It's worth running through. It's
Yes.
worth running through a breakdown of the Clone Wars and a little bit of Rebels if you can. Watch recap videos. The more you know, if you don't know about Ahsoka Tano, the better the next episode will be. It is going to be a massive episode. I
And especially,
imagine.
I mean, if it's Rosario Dawson like we hope and we think it is, it's all but confirmed that it'll be played by her. She's one of my favorite actors in the
She's
world.
so good.
It-
Oh, big
What
Clerks
an
fan.
actress
Yeah.
to bring into The Mandalorian and the Star Wars universe.
I imagine it's not the only surprise we get.
Yes.
Rex,
We have
maybe?
nothing but new stuff coming.
Rex, Sabine, who knows?
That's it, though. Rex. Oh,
Yeah.
Captain Rex?
He's that old fuck.
If you're going to do one thing over the next week, watch either Clone Wars and Rebels recaps, again, we have ours, or to start binging, because it will only enhance your viewing experience with the show, especially that next episode.
And it's independently good. It's very good shows.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
That's it. Darksaber probably going to show up too. Maybe.
Yes.
I'm not betting my salary on that. I'm not doing that. Just Ahsoka.
That's a sprinkle bet.
That's it. Mandalorian. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below, give your thoughts what we're going to see next week. If you're on the Barstool website, just comment below, give your thoughts. Well, you can't like and subscribe on the website. But that's it for Robbie and KenJac. I'm Jeff Lowe. Next week, massive episode, the Ahsoka episode. We'll talk to you then.